Hey everyone, what's up? I apologize if I'm coughing a little bit here. I'm trying to get over a cold, cough, must be allergies or something. But, welcome to this vlog, or vlog as they call it. Something I haven't done in a while, just after work vlog, or, past 5 days worth of work. Been very very unusual, if you ask me. What I mean by that is the fact that over the past 5 days, it's just been one of those unusual weeks. The last day off, the last day off I got was on Tuesday, so now I'm getting today off, and I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some decent hours, yes, but very unusual, to say the least. I'll say it this way. Wednesday, I did 3:30 to 11. Then I did 6:30 to 11. Then I did another 3:30 to 11. Then I did 9 to 4, and then yesterday I did 8:30 to 5. It's just one of those weeks, Just one of those weeks. And we pretty much knew we were going to be busy, especially going into the weekend. But my God, I don't think we knew how busy we were going to be. We knew that with the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, that we were going to get hit, and we did. I mean, we got semi-hit on Friday night. I think that's when I did 3:30 to 11. We got semi-hit, but not really. Come Saturday, though, almost, because I did 9 to 4 that day. Almost, from beginning to end of my shift, it was crazy. It slowed down a few times, but barely. And then from what I was told yesterday, it picked up again during the evening hours. It's like, you want to know how bad it got, folks? You want to know how bad it got? They had to call people in. They were calling people in to work. People that may have requested the day off, may have got the day off or something like that. They were asking them to come in. And why? Because apparently they were not prepared. They were not prepared for the onslaught that we got. They were not prepared for the onslaught that we got. I mean, folks, we just got hit from start to finish almost. And then yesterday, yeah, we got hit a few times. We got hit, but yesterday was very mediocre. In a sense, it's like, talk about day and night, It was that different. I mean, I got to go to lunch and come back without getting talked to. I was able to get, it was just different. Just totally different. And I think it's mostly because a lot of people were at home getting over their hangovers and all that from the night before. Yeah. They were getting over their hangovers from the night before. And I can tell you folks this. I mentioned this to some customers. I mentioned this to some of my associates, fellow employees. It felt like Black Thursday yesterday. Honestly, it did. It felt like a Black Friday, Black Thursday kind of deal on Saturday. It really did. It was that bad. And apparently I'm not the only one that suffered because of that. My second older sister, who works at Uno Chicago, in Modesto, she dealt with it too. And she's a waitress. So you can only imagine how beat up she was after that night. But here's what was funny. We knew it was Cinco de Mayo weekend, still kind of Cinco de Mayo celebration time, because that's tomorrow officially, but it was for the weekend, it was Cinco de Mayo weekend. We had that. We had the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. We had the Derby, which was going on during all this. And then, because we were so busy, and I think maybe it didn't cross any of our minds, we ended up forgetting about the Warriors game against Memphis. Yeah, about the NBA semifinal game, or Western Conference semifinal game between Golden State and Memphis. We had totally forgot about that. And then in addition to that, you have San Francisco Giants, Oakland A's. And it's like, and you probably have people coming back from Turlock or Modesto from seeing Avengers. And it's like, talk about one of the busiest weekends of the year. I mean, even the ladies that work in the money room, in the cash room, if you will, who, from what I understand, count the cash and all that for the day, and kind of cash it, kind of count the cash for the day, the quarters, the hours, whatever. Even they felt exhausted because it was going to be, they were going to have a lot of money to count, and boy, did they ever. Did they ever. And that's the honest truth. I mean, I'll give it to you like this. You know how a lot of stores have refrigerators and stuff. Hold on for a second. But basically have those ice fridges. You know where you have the bags of ice. These are the 3-pack or huge large pack of ice that people buy for the coolers. Either they're doing barbecues or they're doing whatever. Way to go, chirp chirp or what? No, not chirp. My brain still kind of waking up. My brain's still kind of waking up, folks. But you know how people, go to the ice fridges and they purchase the ice, or you have to type in a code for the ice, either it's a small or big ice. Well, about 4 or 5 times, as far as I know, when I was working on Saturday, that had the large ice. Mostly from what I saw, and I'm not sure about the small ice, probably the same thing. But both areas, let's just put it that way, they had to be refilled about 4 or 5 times on Saturday. And that's saying something. Even the lady that's in charge, that's responsible for doing that, was kind of surprised. She was like, "You've got to be kidding me." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." So yeah, it was that bad on Saturday. And like I said, in addition to Pacquiao, the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, in addition to, the Derby, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and then the Warriors playoff game on top of that, as well as Giants and A's in their games, it's like what else was there, It's like, what else was there? And it was just crazy is what it was. It was just nuts. And then, like I said, yesterday was completely like the exact opposite. I mean, yeah, we picked up a few times and all that, but nothing compared to the other day. It was like nothing compared to the other day. And then, like I said, we picked up a little bit on Friday night, but that was fine. We we knew we were going to get busy that night, but it was like, holy Moses. And then on top of that, for a lot of people like myself, you ended up getting your checks in the mail, your SSI, social checks, welfare checks, your retirement checks, whatever you want to call it. Because of the first of the month, everybody got their checks too, so it's like, holy smokes. It's like, holy smokes. And then we had, excuse me, then we had the Relay for Life over at Patterson High School. It's like, for 24 hours, it's like, what else was there? It was probably one of the most busiest weekends we had, on top of the fact that the next busiest weekend we're going to get is Apricot Fiesta. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get that off because I'm going to try to request it. I tell you, it was just crazy. And I'm sure a lot of you that have retail jobs or restaurant jobs and all that pretty much know that as well. And then on top of that, like I said, on Saturday, I went to lunch at my time, right? I had a scheduled noon lunch. So I go, and then I get talked to on the way back. No, not on the way back, but when I get back, I get talked to. And I'm like, I was just doing what I was supposed to do. Somebody came and replaced me. And they said, look, the girl that came to replace you wasn't really, yeah, she's a floor associate. She's not a cashier. But basically it was just confusing. Like, look, just because she took over for you didn't mean you had to leave. But here's the thing. They didn't stop me. Nobody came up to me when I was in the HBA looking for stuff for my mom, because she asked me to look for a few things. Nobody went and got me there. Nobody stopped me on my way out asking, where are you going? I said, I'm going to lunch. No, you're not. Nobody said that. That's how crazy Saturday was. It stressed a lot of people out. Due to the fact that a lot of people either called in or were scheduled off, and we didn't need that to happen. It was just one of those nutty days. And it's like I said. It's like I said before. You know, it's like I said in that rant video I did on Saturday. The fact is, my job, along with other jobs just like it, need to get organized. They need to focus. They need to do focal groups, research groups, and say, okay, what are going to be the busiest days of the year for all 12 months? What are going to be the busiest days locally, nationwide, whatever? What are going to be the busiest days? So that way we have enough help to cover every person and not have a problem. I mean, heck, one of the girls that works in sporting goods, and she occasionally comes up and does cashiering if we're low, you know, even agreed, yeah, don't you think they need to be organized? It's like, you know, and I can understand why customers get pissed off. You know, I can understand, even though I don't like it, why customers with 20 items or more come up to the 20 items or less quick checkouts. It's like, we need to get organized. We need to get focused. We need to, these retail stores, supermarkets, supercenters, they need, from Targets to a Walmart, to a Kohl's, to a Kmart, to a Toys R Us. They need, to a Save Mart, Food for Less, a Food Map, excuse me, a Lucky's, a Safeway, an Albertsons, whatever. They need to get themselves organized. They need to get organized. They need to do focal groups. They need to do research and say, okay, locally, what are the busiest days of the year for us? And nationwide-wise, what are the busiest days of the year? So that we can have the help we need. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful I have today off. Because I tell you this, even if they try to call me in, I ain't answering. Period. It's like, holy God. It's like, holy God. You know what? What a week and what a Saturday it was. And then on top of that, for me personally, me and my mom, we had my nephews here we had my 7-year-old nephew from Friday to yesterday. Then we had my 11-year-old nephew from yesterday to today, from Saturday to yesterday. And, yesterday, my landlord, my mom's landlord, me and my mom's landlord, was supposed to come down with his maintenance guy, and get this, supposed to fix the garbage disposal, which has been out for a little while now, as well as fix a little pipe under my mom's toilet because it's leaking. So what happens? We go back and forth. So here's what happens. We go back and forth with the guy saying, okay, what's the best day for you? What's the best day for you, right? We go back and forth with the guy. And so finally, when we settle on the 3rd of this month, yesterday, what happens? We get an email, we get a phone message. Basically, the guy that's supposed to come down with our landlord and do the repairs cancels because he says he has another project in another city or another area. And yet, the guy that's supposed to come down here and do these repairs knew about this, had confirmed it, and yet he cancels. And you know what I told my mom? I said, you know what I think it was? And I think she knows it to be true. I even told my sister when I bumped into her, and she even agreed. I told my sister, well, he knew about this weeks in advance. He already confirmed it. It was already confirmed. He knew about it. You know what I told my mom it was? I told her it was the fact that he probably went into a friend's house, wherever he was, and watched the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight and probably got drunk. That's what happened. Because why else would you cancel out on something and say, oh, well, I have another project here? I mean, when my mom talked to our landlord on the phone, you could tell not only was he tired, because probably he got up early, he was talking to Tony, and Tony called him about it. But I think my landlord was not only disappointed, like my mom said, and probably angry with this Tony guy, but also the fact that I think our landlord, despite how people might feel about landlords like him, and he's a good landlord, I think our landlord probably knew exactly what I knew. And that is our repairman that's supposed to come and repair and do maintenance on the houses that my landlord runs and owns and rents out to people, probably went and saw the fight with some people, got drunk, and made up a damn excuse because he was too hungover. Well, you know what? If you know it's like, as tenants, you're customers, in a sense. Maybe not on the same level, but you yourself are customers. And the customer, the tenant, comes first. Not some party just because you want to see a fight, which a lot of people pretty much declared as the worst, hyped up, and unlivable to the hype fight that they have seen. But you put your tenants, your customers, before that. It's a thing called DVR. And when I told my mom this, like I said yesterday, I came home for lunch. And they came back a little after I did. And I answered, and I looked at the phone. Because something told me, you know what's crazy? Something told me he was going to cancel. And I knew what the reason was going to be. And I know that's the reason. I mean, how would you feel? You have something